HCS Anaheim is presented by AMD, Astro Gaming, the Marines, Zowie, and Xbox Plays.
Dan, I have to be honest with you. I'm right there with Dave and GB. This could go either way. I don't know what you're thinking. I know you're the stat guy. So from what you've seen in scrims, do these guys match up as close as the Death thinks they do?
In the last scrim, no. SSG absolutely wiped the floor with Fnatic. It was 12-1. Like, it wasn't even close, and that worries me a little bit. But that was a scrim that was just around 2 weeks ago. So, you know, there has been a lot of changes since then. There's been a lot of time to practice and improve. So I'd like to think that Fnatic can do something a little bit different. And also, it's LAN. It's not going to be online. Those people who are running away, escaping that last headshot, it's not going to happen anymore. We do have a rematch a little bit from Rally as well. SSG took down Fnatic, previously Team War, back in Rally. So there is a little bit of a rivalry developing between these two in both online tournaments and LAN tournaments. I think I would lean towards Spacestation, but you know what? Fnatic looked good today.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a massive series for pool play for both of these teams right now. Both 0-1 currently in pool play. Fnatic losing to FaZe is one thing, but Spacestation being upset by G1 could change the entire tide of the bracket and what is determined from here on out. So a massive series for both teams. If you are getting into this game, we are going to have a lobby remake, so we have a little bit of time to set the scene for the table. For the Twitch viewers out there, I want to set the scene. Something that the Death touched on just briefly was the difference between these two teams and their paces. One is a very strong Halo 5 team in Fnatic, all 5 of those players having a lot of success towards the end of Halo 5. The other team, predominantly a lot of Halo 3 players, a lot of Halo 3 experience, a much slower game. Dan, when you're thinking about how these two styles may conflict against each other, may contrast, which one do you favor going to game one?
Well, I think when Halo Infinite first released, people were like, you know, it plays a little bit like Halo 3. It's a lot slower. You don't have necessarily all the thrusting around, but then you start to realize there's so many tools on the map you can use, and people start to realize if you play it as fast as Halo 5, as a unit, and you just fly, spawn kill, actually, it can lean towards those Halo 5 players. And in that instance, going into a Street Strongholds game, which is arguably one of the quickest game types we have in the circuit, maybe I am leaning towards Fnatic. Maybe I am leaning towards these kind of Halo 5 players that were just so successful and they know how to move quickly as a team. Because that's exactly what this game is about. Move fast, make sure you're finishing up kills, don't allow people to escape. And especially on Street Strongholds where you have to constantly move around that map. You can't necessarily just hold 2 strongholds, because if you do, you can leave yourself open to getting flanked and then losing control completely.
Yeah, to me, it's all about the amount of pressure that you're going to see these two teams apply when they have control of the map. I expect Fnatic, having that Halo 5 style, to apply so much pressure and try to make Spacestation uncomfortable, limit the amount of space that they're able to have off spawns. I see Spacestation give up a little bit too much room when they have when they have control of the map, when they have the other team on respawn. They honestly, they're not as quick to press the pedal to the middle. I'm wondering if that's what happened against G1, and if they make that mistake twice in pool play, it could come back to bite them.
Yeah, I don't think you can afford to make those mistakes, and certainly the emphasis that the Death were putting on the importance of this series as well is completely true. The fact that if you finish bottom of your pool, you start in loser's bracket. So this essentially becomes a winner's bracket 0.5 game. Rather than it being winner's bracket round 1, this is your first loss of the tournament when it starts to begin. And starting in that lower bracket is just so detrimental to you as a team as well. You don't have that fallback. You don't have that second chance. So this is so important for both of these teams to focus up now.
It's also in the manner that you go to that loser's bracket. And if you go 0-4 in your pool, that doesn't really give you any promise or anything to build off of or work with, right? If you go 4th in your pool, but you won a series that you upset a team in, that's a completely different story that you're able to say, we just need to figure out how to play like that consistently. I think for Spacestation, this series is more important for Spacestation than it is Fnatic, because Fnatic lost to FaZe. They were supposed to lose to FaZe. Spacestation lost to G1. That was never supposed to happen, but because it did, this series is magnified tenfold.
And I think Fnatic, because of that, will probably be rubbing their hands together, saying, you know, this is an SSG team who probably would have been confident coming into this series because this is essentially a 2nd versus 4th seed in this group.
Right.
But now it suddenly becomes a 3rd versus 4th, and Fnatic is saying, hey, well, you know, if G1 can do it, and they're only a little bit above us, why can't we do it as well? And I think if they manage to win that game 1, despite the fact what's happened in scrims in the last time they played against each other, you've really got to focus on trying to focus on LAN right now and just breaking a team that already is going to be struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I think as an experienced player, it's very difficult to get out of that snowball where your team can't figure out a way to win a series, let alone games in a series, especially as it continues to amount over the weekend. That can be a very heavy burden on the mentality of Spacestation Gaming. They need to start off the series hot, and unfortunately, Street Stronghold's one of our fastest game types. That's going to be a very difficult one for them to win, I think.
Well, whilst we're waiting for these players to just get ready, I think someone popped to the bathroom. We do have a nice video on Halo lore for you guys to watch. Check it out.
Are these questions?
Do we look at them? Okay.
This is Halo lore with pros, and these questions were provided by Hidden Xperia.
All right, what is the name of the elite you play as in Halo 2?
The Arbiter.
Obviously, yes.
The Arbiter?
Yep. The Arbiter?
That's right.
What species created the Halo ring?
Wait, it's either the Forerunners or the Prometheans.
Flood.
I'll go with the Prometheans.
Nah, Forerunner.
Dude! Okay, whatever.
Forerunners?
Yes.
It is the Forerunners. Okay,
Yeah,
because there's something before the Forerunners too.
I couldn't tell you.
The precursors.
And what did Chief give back to the Covenant in Halo 2? I need to look over here.
Did you give back to the Covenant?
Yeah, what did he give back to the Covenant?
You know the whole scene, he's like, Chief, where are you going? And he goes, to give the Covenant back.
I have no idea, honestly.
Like a plasma grenade?
No.
I don't know.
Dude, this guy hasn't played campaign, I swear.
I'm so bad at campaign.
He goes, he says like where are you going? He goes, to give the Covenant back their bomb.
Their bomb.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he sends it back and blows up the ship. Dang, I am a nerd.
It says, what weapon is used to kill Miranda Keys in Halo 3?
She's the chick who got, I think, the energy sword, right? She has to have the energy sword?
Is it fuel rod cannon? She got blasted?
No.
No, it's a pistol then.
Spiker.
Who dies to a spiker?
The spiker? She died to a spiker?
That's
That is, like,
embarrassing.
so
That's
anticlimactic.
That's the hardest gun to get a kill with.
All right, I'm out.
GG.
GG. You lost.
Welcome back, everybody. I think everyone's in their chairs ready to get this series underway. And it's going to be a big one for both these teams, Dan. Stronghold Streets is game 1 as we preface before going to the video. And hopefully these players know a little bit more about Street Strongholds and correct rotations than they did about their campaign knowledge.
I was a little bit worried, actually, with just how bad the campaign knowledge was. But, you know, that's why they're pro players. They focus on the multiplayer instead. And, you know, this is an objective game to start, and I will be focusing on the objective players. I was just looking across at, like, who are those players you look to try and get that objective work done? Tylenol, he's so good at defending strongholds. Once the team has those strongholds secure, he always seems to flood back to the strongholds to get people out, and statistically just thrives in that scenario. So I'm going to be looking for big things from Tylenol. I think there's so much responsibility on his shoulders in this game type, but this is going to be action-packed, and it's going to be so fast. I can't wait.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Starting off with Tylenol as he's pushing top rail. Great shots to take down Zion, and it's actually Super CC that was able to get that kill onto Zion. And those 2 kills are going to open up the middle of the map for Fnatic. And look at the push onto C already, Dan.
Yeah, really important that you do transition to C and keep pressure on the other team. That's exactly what Jazira is doing right now, and that should allow them to secure it. But elsewhere, they've given up A, so they just need to quickly collapse when they get together, and these rockets might help.
They got one in the chamber right now for Septify. He's got the read on where Space Station's trying to push. Ends up taking his life. Doesn't get the kill, though. 2 players, no shield for Space Station. They both end up staying alive, getting their shield back. And now Space Station look to swarm B.
You've really got to secure a kill where the rockets. He probably thought he had, to be honest, as we are going to see Jazira still using that Bulldog to full effect. But now we're going to see total control temporarily here for Fnatic. Space Station on the back foot. And Jazira is still running a tear right now.
Bulldog shotgun in hand, Jazero opening up the map for Fnatic. There's a trip cap in place now, Dan. They're swarming onto the spawners already. You're seeing Fnatic play at such a fast pace, and I love this by Jazero. As I say they play at a fast pace, he slows it down. He understands he's by himself trying to control A, and a phenomenal job to try and get into PD here. He creates so much opportunity, creates so much space for Fnatic to push up the middle of the map, and now look for Fnatic to sandwich.
They got 1 kill at C, and they knew they'd only be 3 players here at A, and they collapsed right back onto them here. This is the perfect start for Fnatic. Spacestation are rocked at the moment. This all leads back to the previous series where they lost a series they shouldn't have, and Jazero is still alive.
The drop mechanic with the shotgun, you don't see it often, but Jazero showing you he's got that in his back pocket as well. Picking up another kill, helping his team secure A, but a little bit of an overextension there from Fnatic. Jazero was actually the last guy alive. They are going to lose B. They do have that AC stronghold, but you see rockets coming up right now, so every kill is going to be crucial for this next set of rockets.
They happily gave up B, but by standing in bottom middle, looking and waiting for those rockets, it is going to mean that Spacestation finally gets some points on the board and will get a triple cap of their own. So now it's what they do from here. They've got rockets. Ace has a lot of responsibility here. They just need to collapse on B, and he could pick up some big kills. Doesn't quite get it, but should be able to clean up.
Should be able to finish that kill. Unfortunately, the plasma grenades don't come home. He spots 2 players, is able to get 1. Help from Zion on the second, and 2 go down for Fnatic. Spacestation continue to this trip cap, and they needed it, Dan. They were down 88-0.
Yeah, and Fnatic didn't really know what to do in that situation. They thought, should we go for B? Should we go for C? And they kind of split off. And that's allowed Spacestation to get so much time here now and get right back into this game. Fnatic could have, taken that lead. They could have held on to that lead. But instead, this triple cap from Spacestation suddenly is turning this game on its head. And Fnatic don't seem to know how to escape it right now.
Look at the pressure from Spacestation. You cannot leave PD. They got you on lock. They put you in the cell. Back in respawn, and Spacestation continued the trip cap, but that could be a big team stick right there from Tylenol. Unfortunate timing for Spacestation Gaming as Zion does get taken down. Tylenol forced to release some of the pressure, and now Fnatic with a little bit of space on the map. What can they do with it?
That's such a shame, because Spacestation could have really continued to amp up this pressure because he was diving in to challenge on C. You also had someone over towards A that could have moved in as well. So that's going to be an opening for Fnatic. That's exactly what they needed because they were struggling, but Spacestation, they picked up so much points that will give them a confidence to go back into it.
Look at this. They changed everything. That 1 stick is going to release some pressure, and with that release pressure, Fnatic get 3 dead, make it 4, and they've taken not only A stronghold, but they've got B in control as well. So the trip cap finally over for Spacestation, but damage has been done, 128 consecutive points, and now we're looking at almost a tie game as a killing spree for Septify on screen. A massive double kill for him as rockets are coming up once again.
And I think we can already see this is going to be a game of who is more comfortable when in that triple cap, but more importantly, who can escape that triple cap, who is going to be able to prioritize the strongholds better once they are off respawn. Because if you just aimlessly dive into C, and you allow the other team to know where you are, you're just going to die over and over again. 2 rockets wasted there, but still, triple cap finally going to be stopped here by Spacestation, but this game is going back and forth.
I mean, look at the pressure Fnatic is still able to apply. 3 dead once again, so even though C gets transferred over for Spacestation, it's going to be briefly, momentarily, unless Blazing can hit some great shots across the map. You should be seeing C stronghold go in the favor of Fnatic, but a great job of Spacestation to try and deny that for a little bit. Let their team come off spawn, and now, like you said, Dan, both these teams having so much success when they have control so far. It's about what you do when you don't have control that will make the difference up here as we enter the mid-game.
Loving the confidence I'm seeing from Jazero right from the get-go, too. He is happy to challenge every single fight, but it's Septify, the one who's going to be moving in on A here. And any player who's got the Bulldog in their back pocket, they're going to be able to move with that extra little bit of confidence. Of course, the close-range fights are going to be fine, but Zion managing to actually catch him off guard there.
Look at the difference in kills right now, Dan. 12, 11, 8, and 8. Almost everyone on Fnatic having more kills than everyone on Spacestation so far, but the score, it's still within 30. It's still within striking distance. Spacestation still in this game 1 for now, but B and C in control of Fnatic. A great job by Jazero to anchor this B stronghold with this Stalker rifle. If he can hit some great shots, it's going to open up the entire map once again for Fnatic to swarm.
I think this is a good period for Fnatic because there is the kind of holding 2 strongholds right now where you can consistently take these 4v4, 3v3 engagements.
Let's go.
And that's going to be Jazero again winning a 1v1. Spacestation are struggling right now. FaZe in, They were talking about how many kills he's been able to pick up, how much damage he's been able to do. He's only got 2 kills right now, and I know that stats don't say everything, but you've got to look at that and say, what is going wrong with Spacestation at the moment? They can't seem to win these engagements.
A couple of quick kills right before rockets come up could be the difference maker for Spacestation to get back in this, but just like that, they lose 2 members. A great job by Zion to relocate, finish that Rocket player off before he can get away, and now Rockets were down, but now in the hands of Septify, able to apply pressure to Tires, finds the first easy kill onto Tires, and look for them to once again push a trip cap now that they have numbers towards A.
They know Elam's there as well. They're going to take down Ace, and that's going to be B and C still in control. They can contest C whilst they also grab A. This is getting worse and worse for Spacestation as they run into yet another rocket launcher. We are looking closer and closer like this could be a 1-0 opening to Fnatic, unless we see Spacestation get yet another trip cap. That's when they were at their best, when they managed to really flip that map and put Fnatic in such an uncomfortable situation.
They have to get the slays, though. We can talk about objectives all we want, but with 16 kills, Septify and Super CC creating a massive opportunity difference for Fnatic right now, and you're seeing Onboard transfer over C and immediately make his way towards B. So once again, Fnatic pushing the trip cap, understanding the situation perfectly, and their rotations are perfectly paired with their slays right now, Dan.
Constantly rotating, constantly collapsing. Triple cap is there once more. Yes, he's being contested, but look how quickly they go to fight it.
Yeah, so quickly, doing the Cloud9 strat, making sure they don't give up C for free, and with that, that's going to be Fnatic dominating the second half of Game 1, not only in the stats board, not only in the scoreline, but those slays were such a big difference.
Now, I don't usually listen to everything that Golden Boy says, but he was pointing out that Spacestation are not in a good situation, and he hits the nail on the head. And I'm only joking, Golden Boy knows what he's talking about, but Fnatic are taking advantage of a Spacestation Gaming who have been rocked today. And even though pool play, yeah, you can come back for it. You can have a bad day on Friday, and you can have a great day Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday. You could win the whole tournament. But we said how important this game was going to be, because if you finish 4th in your pool, you start in that lower bracket. You don't have that second chance. You don't have that drop down to give you that security blanket that some teams need, because it's all well and good not playing well on Friday and then going into Saturday. If you don't play well again, you are out of this competition. Fnatic are going to be flying right now. Confidence is going to be flooding through their veins. There's been so much attention to this team because they were the last set of players to be picked up by a partnered organization, and people were like, oh, well, did Fnatic take too long to pick up a team? They've ended up maybe with a side that's not going to be able to compete with the big dogs. A win here would put so much confidence in this squad, and right now, they look like the better team.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that this team is coming off a loss, even to FaZe. We don't know how that series went because it wasn't on main stage. We were busy, obviously, working on those. But what I've seen from Fnatic so far in this first game is everything that you want to see from these guys. If you want to see this team go the distance, break into that top 6, make names for themselves here today or this weekend, they've started every bit on the right foot, especially in this series against Spacestation. Dan, as we go into Game 2, it's a Slayer. I can't tell you how important it is that Spacestation is able to somehow get off the ropes as a boxer and get back into the fight, because right now, I mean, you said it, they're dazed, and they look dazed even through the mid-game of Game 1.
I think what was interesting was you questioned the pace of these two teams going into Stronghold Streets, and I've got to say that both of them, they really hit this game with a lot of pace, and we saw that when it went from trip cap to trip cap, and how quickly they were flooding these spawns every single time the other team was on the back foot. But it was how Fnatic finally stabilized. They looked like they were rocked, but as soon as they got total control once more and they started to really command the map, they didn't let it go. And Spacestation, they just, I don't know if they weren't hitting their shots or they weren't moving as a unit. They were leaving themselves so vulnerable to constant 1v1s, and Fnatic's shots were better, and ultimately that allowed them to then get a player advantage, which they would then push on. So I feel like the pace of which Fnatic played with was great, but also the individual ability we saw and the shots that were being hit was so crucial in that Game 1.
I think the timings were also a big reason why they were able to snowball some of their kills, because they kept winning the battles right before rockets came up. They were able to get those rockets, turn them into several more kills. Even if you're turning a set of rockets into just one kill, I mean, that gives you numbers advantage, space, and it pressures the other team to try and figure out a way to trade that damage, which is near impossible on a map like Streets. If you are Spacestation Gaming, you cannot afford to give up power-ups and power weapons like in the manner that they did against a team like Fnatic, because you've seen what Fnatic can do, even just in Game 1 of the series.
So Slayer Aquarius is going to be our second game, and recently when they played each other in scrims, it was a 50-35 advantage in favor of SSG, but I'm kind of feeling like I should throw all those results out the window because this doesn't look like the same teams that were competing online. This doesn't look like the same SSG that has been such a thorn in Fnatic's side in multiple Pro Series. I know the Fnatic have got the better of them in one occasion, but apart from that, they are consistently losing. But we heard from the interviews previously, Fnatic was saying, we feel like we can 3-0 this. We don't feel like we're the 4th seed in this group. We feel like we can beat a team like SSG. And if they can beat SSG, maybe they feel like they can beat G1 as well. And suddenly they go from a team who was expected to finish 4th and start in that lower bracket to then becoming a team who finishes 2nd in the winner's bracket round 1, getting to face a team who's in 3rd from another group. So I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit here because they're only 1-0 up, but certainly that thought will be planted in their mind. They just need to run with this momentum. They need to carry on playing with the confidence that they did, because over and over, Wes, they were challenging 1v1s even though when they were down.
I like that train of thought, but it's a very dangerous one to go down because you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You only won game 1 against Spacestation, right? Spacestation has veterans that have been through the ebbs and flows of best of 5s for a long, long time. Ace has done just about everything you can in a best of 5, from getting 3-0 to 3-0ing to reverse sweeping to being reverse swept throughout his entire career. So he understands that this isn't over. For as new of players as Fnatic is, as young of players as they are in their career, they need to make sure that they stay focused on the one game at a time mentality. Going into game 2, this series can be very quickly tied up 1-1 if you do not bring your A game.
And Aquarius Slayer is a difficult game to try and come back from when you do find yourself a significant amount behind, because you can constantly be caught on that spawn trap, and when the other team is always finding the sizzle sticks and picking them up on spawn every 30 seconds, of course, it can be so detrimental when you try and escape a base and you just start sizzling. They do come in, those dynamo grenades, and they can make a real difficulty to your team to be able to push out because so much information is gained. And then, of course, the camouflage is going to be on the map, which is where we're going to see a lot of fights happening. Not necessarily top-middle, but just you're going to see a couple of players anchoring in either side of the base. And that's a difficult job to do, but certainly you're going to see players try to do it. And I'm looking at Flazen. If he's the one who's been putting down, you know, on average, 6,000 damage per game throughout Pro Series, you know full well he is stood on one side of the map, peppering shots across, but he needs to get those kills finished.
To me, it's a really important balance of when you sit in the window and when you apply damage across the map, and when you're able to push up and apply pressure off spawns, right? It's going to be a very important battle of understanding your timings of, I am the anchor for my team, or I am trying to create my team some space on this map, because very easily can you get trapped in the back of some of these bases on Aquarius. And like you said, Dan, when dynamo grenades start coming in there, they can do a world of damage to the entire team.
Thrust is going to be on the map, of course, and the best of players will always prioritize that, but you don't want to expose yourself to maybe control of people who are holding that car side and that pink side. And even though pink isn't necessarily where you want to constantly be pushing, because if you do spawn your team towards Fridge, you do leave yourself very vulnerable to constantly being collapsed on, naded. We'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to hop on board with Septify, one of the best players on this Fnatic roster, having a very strong game 1. Trying to get out. It's actually not going to be Septify. It's actually Zion's point of view, and he gets taken down. Can't make it out of his own closet, and because of it, you see how aggressive Fnatic is already.
Envor is going to be that player just holding in the base at the moment. You don't want to turtle up and allow too much pressure from the other team here. One player down on both sides, so the next kill could be really important, and taking down Zion could now allow Fnatic to push up, take a bit more map control here. Top car, such an important place to be holding, and now they've got camouflage as well.
All right, Jazero with this camouflage. Knows players are in this closet, and I love the fact that he's going to have teammates entering that closet before him, making that a very easy kill for Fnatic. Already up 7-2, picking up right where they left off. Ace with the only 2 kills for Spacestation so far in this game. It is early, but it could get ugly. As the back smack doesn't come through. Great timing from Ace to drop out of middle. Jazero can't find that kill, but he's going to be giving that information out. Is going to be able to finish off Ace a little bit uglier than you would want, but still gets the kill through.
I love that, though. He didn't get scared. He didn't panic suddenly when he wasn't able to get the back smack. Instead, he was patient. He made the call out, and he held his position with camouflage. So many players would have dived bottom middle there to try and get the assassination in a panic situation. So really impressed with Jazero so far. From game 1 and game 2, he seems so comfortable in his own skin.
Look at his positioning. I mean, we can't preach it enough right there to patiently play his life. The killing spree comes through. The kills are right there for Fnatic. They get 3 dead once again, and already 14-6 Fnatic, proving they cannot slay in the objectives, but they can also dominate in the Slayers as well.
Well, I was talking about, you you've got to be one of those players who can put the damage down. Septify has been one of those players who's been able to do it so much for Fnatic as well. And right now, this whole team is applying so much pressure to Space Station that they really can't escape this base. And being down by 7 is not an easy set of kills to actually come back from. You've got to make sure that you don't just push out 1v1. You're not aimlessly rushing to try and get kills on the board. Instead, there needs to be strategy. You need to try and retake this map here.
16 to 10 Envor with the thrust, looking to apply pressure onto Blazin in this corner. Is going to trap him. End up getting that kill with a nice melee. A great job by Envor to not let that player stay alive any longer than he needed to. But Ace, in the meantime, has gotten away with camo. Now Ace with this camo, down 9 kills. I want to hop into a listen in with Space Station and see if they're able to make a comeback here.
Top mid, skip. Another one on BP2, one shot.
Top yellow somewhere.
Top blue.
Split everywhere.
Top blue.
Got one,
P2,
P2.
Running at you. 2 on Alec, 2 on Alec, yellow bridge. Top blue.
Watch out P1, watch out P1. J0. He went yellow,
Red still? Alright, I have a heat wave.
Blue, yellow, pink. One shot.
Okay, hear that, Aaron?
Top P, top P, top P. P2 weak as well.
Looking top P.
Top P, bro. P2
card 3, bro.
Still up P.
Sitting top blue.
Dying in the back. He's thrust.
P2 weak. Help him out now.
P1
And P1 and P1 out.
P2, P2.
I'm up in your
P1 guys, watch out.
Back at P2 guys.
Blue shroom.
Watch out front blue. Another one front blue. Side.
Front blue to P.
Front blue to you, Aaron. He's top blue. We need an anchor, guys.
Blue pink as well. Alright, I'm going back to yellow.
Yellow thrust is on.
Blue on and blue pink. Top P, top P. Little weak.
P2 running.
Going blue.
Back still.
One blue.
I'm gonna go cover nades.
Blue B.
Go for yellow thrust. Okay, Aaron, you got it. Slid, play with me.
Yeah, I'm here with you, bro.
Come on.
I have heat wave.
You cover me. I need shots from
coming there, I'm coming there. Your tunnel, your high hall, guys.
Top. Front blue, like L2. Top blue.
Space Station are struggling. The Astro listening would suggest they wanted someone to anchor. We were talking about it. Someone holding in the base, someone outputting that damage. And Space Station are struggling a bit, but now this looks like a better period for them. A couple of players from Fnatic getting caught off spawn. And if Space Station can get together 2 or 3 kills, start to flip this map over a little bit, there is still a comeback opportunity.
It was once an 11 kill game, now down to 8. Can they get a few more with these players trapped over towards the pink stairs? You see the pressure from Flazin and the boys are coming through. Multiple players are no shield. All of them getting taken down, I think, but no, a great trade comes through for Fnatic right there to keep this at a 7-point game. And I love what we're seeing out of Fnatic, even at a deficit, even at a position of disadvantage. They're able to come out at least on top still. Although you see the lead now cut into 6. So it is a manageable within striking distance from Space Station, but they still have work to do.
I think as long as you can stay within about 6-7 kills when you get towards the latter stages of this game, a comeback is definitely possible. Flazin has had such an excellent period right now, by the way. He was struggling a little bit. He was in the base. He was being flooded by a few players, but he held his ground. He communicated to the rest of the team as to where he needed assistance, and he's hitting his shots at the moment. There's the aggression again, and somehow gets the killing spree. Eventually goes down, but he's done a lot of work to get Space Station back into this game.
That was going to be Ace's point of view, and a great use of that thrust. You're seeing as Space Station tries to climb back into this game. It was the heat wave, it was thrust. It was a great job of scavenging from Space Station. Great use of the sandbox to get back into this. They're going to need to continue that if they want to push their advantages, but we have a commander rifle in the hands of J0. He gets taken down, and a great job once again with the heat wave. Tylenol creating the opening to make this a 3-kill game.
And Ace at the moment is the player who's trying to bring Space Station back into this. 13 kills on board, but Tylenol is also one of the players for Space Station who has historically always been one of those big damage dealers, the big slayers. He is the name on this roster who I feel like is going to continue to shine so much. He is one of the up-and-comers.
This is a big flank. This is a big flank from Tylenol, able to help his team secure that kill onto the stairs, spots multiple players pink side, and this is exactly where Fnatic do not want to be. You're seeing multiple players of Space Station push in. Unfortunately, they lose 2. Tylenol needs to trade these kills out to stay in this game. He does so. It's a 1-kill game, Dan. Space Station is right back in this after being down 11.
And you heard how calm their communications were. Even though they were down by 11 kills, they were struggling. They just said what they needed to do. They needed an anchor. They needed to settle down. They were pushing aimlessly out. They were leaving themselves in such vulnerable positions, but Fnatic still up by 1. That's the important thing, that Fnatic are still ahead, but as I say that, it's all tied up here. It's a 10-kill game, and this one is so close.
All right, look at Ace. He's got the heat wave. He's got 3 players stuck back to base. One's an easy shot, no shield. The rest of Space Station coming in from the pink side, and that's going to be a clean sweep of players for Space Station Gaming to pick up. 43-40, they have now received the lead by 3 kills, and with the complete map at their disposal, Ace doing a phenomenal job of going right back to these dynamo grenades he had success with just a moment ago, able to pick these up, secure another kill, and look at what Space Station is able to do when they're in control of the map.
Heatwave, dynamos, all the goodies for Ace. 45-41, and could be even more here. Surely you hit the
gotta
shot.
get that.
Doesn't connect with it. 45-42. Ace is on 17 kills right now, but a couple of frags going in favor of Fnatic means that this actually could have been a lot easier for Space Station. They had so much control, but they're still so close to winning this game.
They have to figure out a way to get a kill, and right there in the kill feed, it's going to be Zion that gets it. That's going to relieve so much pressure that we would have seen Fnatic have on them. It looked like Space Station was in a very tough spot after Ace going down in that closet, but no. 2 straight kills unanswered for Fnatic as well. I love this play by Zion to fall back. He does not want to give up any free deaths. It's a 2-kill game, 47-45 Space Station in a must-win game situation.
And Fnatic is scared. They're not collapsing, even though that Zion and Space Station, they were just 2 players up. But where are the spawns? Did they get a split, or are they all together here on Fridge? It looks like they're all on the same side. So Fnatic should know that. They don't want to expose themselves, and Zion's going to stay alive, but he does not do so. 47-46, and Camouflage now in the hands of Envor.
Envor with the game in his hands. Camo going to reposition himself to top pink. I love this by him. Potentially pick up some grenades, but unfortunately he understands that if he trades a melee here, he will be traded out because all of Space Station is going to be stuck pink side. Great camo eyes by Ace in the corner, but look, it's not going to matter how good your eyes are when there's 3 players rushing straight at you. Unfortunately, Space Station have split their resources across the map. They do get Ace, Fnatic does, and with that, they're going to have all of the map to play around. Space Station Gaming look to be trapped. Zion gets taken down in the window. 2 players stuck in the corner, and they could be the last 2 players that Fnatic need to close this one out. But Tylenol, Blazin, they find 2. Space Station win game 2 after being down 11 and tie this series up.
And did you see Envor's face then? Disbelief. He said, how did that happen? I had camouflage, you were with me, we had control, but 2 of us fall. And Fnatic, confused, bamboozled, as Space Station, who were once 11 kills behind in that game, are able to pull that one back, and that is gonna do wonders for their confidence and their belief in this series. And you know who led the charge there? Ace. He was picking up frag after frag, and he was pushing with so much confidence, even though when the team was down and out and it looked like 11 kills behind, this one was over. Space Station maybe gonna finish 4th in this group at that rate. But Ace, every single time, individually was winning those fights. He was picking up the heat wave. He was making sure he got the dynamo grenades. He knew the priority positions. He had the camouflage as well. He was doing a little bit of everything. And we've got a series on our hands.
I have no idea how Space Station ends up getting those 2 kills unanswered there at the end. But that was a phenomenal job, bait and switching, understanding exactly where Fnatic was coming from. They saw the pink players. They were able to, even though they lost the first player in the window, you saw Zion go down. Somehow, some way, Space Station figure out a way to stay not only in this series, but in this pool, because if they go down 2-0 to Fnatic with everything mounted against them, already being down 0-1 in their pool, it could be all she wrote for Space Station, because we could be looking back at that moment on Sunday saying this is where they turned their tournament around, and this is where we saw Space Station come alive.
I think what worried me about that final play, and even though Envor was looking across saying, like, what happened? Why didn't we get those kills? Like, should he have traded that one? I think he probably felt like, personally, he should have at least got the trade with the beatdown, but he didn't necessarily do enough damage, and that's just one of those ones where one bullet on the spread is gonna miss. And
you thinks
he's done. Yeah, you think you're going to be in the situation where you're able to get the kill. You do not. And that means that the rest of the team, suddenly, they are a player down. And that means we move into Bazaar CTF, where it's going to be 1-1 between these 2 teams in what we knew was going to potentially be a close series, but I was scared after that game 1. I thought this could be a Fnatic rout, but it does mean that Space Station, they demonstrate they've got that clutch factor. Because 11 kills down, like any other teams or so many other teams would have crumbled in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so easy to chalk that game up or to either ride that momentum if you're Fnatic, right? So we're going to learn a lot about these 2 teams going into game 3, because Fnatic giving up such a lead in game 2, knowing that you had one of the ribbons almost tied on this series, going up 2-0 against Space Station, and unfortunately that gets ripped away from you. So now your mentality is like, we just choked at game 2. How do we mentally get back in this? For Space Station, you could have been out of this tournament completely. Not completely, but you would have gone to loser's bracket, and with no wins, it's difficult for me to project you to place well. So they stay in this pool, they stay alive and build some momentum. This is a win that you can build off of, especially the way they did it. Coming back from 11 kills is massive.
Fun statistic there as well. They're ranked first in melee kills in Slayer games, and you saw it came in handy at the end of that game as well, being able to kill Envor and get that 49th on the board, and then being able to close out the 50th kill. We go into Bazaar CTF. This is a map that we saw them play against each other in Rally, actually, on LAN before, so they know how each other play. It only finished 1-0 in favor of Spacestation. It was so difficult for both of these players to get that flag across the map, which we know Bazaar happens with a lot of teams. But then when we saw it happen again in scrims and Pro Series, Spacestation have slowly got a lot better at setting up for those flag routes and ensuring that they watch those spawns and they force those spawns correctly. But my big question is, have Fnatic finally worked that out? Because they've really struggled historically in this game type to score those flags. So I'm hoping they put a lot of work into this. They know how to get that flag across now.
One thing I want everyone to pay attention to is who is controlling the rockets and the overshield. So far, I feel like Fnatic has done such a good job of controlling the power-ups and power weapons. In the second half of that game, you saw Spacestation get a camo, do some work, get a heat wave, do some more work, and they crawled right back into it. If you're Fnatic, you want to dominate that story from start to finish here in Game 3. But we're going to hop on board with Zion right now. We have Ace. His camera might be here, but this is Zion point of view. And if he can get off to a right start here at the start of this game, he's going to open up the complete middle of the map for Spacestation.
And he saw that overship was free to grab. I think he probably got the call out. SSG have been able to get a little bit of map control. Rocket's still not been picked up, so that's going to be Overshield and potentially Rockets if they play this one correctly, which would be the perfect start, but Envor, coming out of nowhere, will connect with his melee this time, and now he's going to be rewarded with an OS.
Yeah, he does have this Overshield, finds himself a double, but OS immediately erased. Ace won the battle for Rockets. Rockets beat Overshield, and right there you're seeing a little body disrespect from Tylenol, some confidence out of Tylenol, as that shows you that he has a little bit of time to waste on your dead body instead of advancing on the map. Let's see what he's able to do now that resources have arrived. And Septify, a little bit of an overextension there. You don't want to see him jumping out, but an easy kill for Spacestation has now given them numbers and look for them to push in.
I feel like that was a little bit of frustration from Tylenol, if I'm honest. Spacestation there probably wondering why this series is so close. They should be, in their eyes, probably winning it a bit more comfortable. Septify is going to be able to get the kill onto Ace, but Spacestation not able to really take control of their dominance in the middle of the map. They haven't pushed up and really been able to secure a flag pool because of it. And it's all about timing your kills. This is something Onset was talking about on the desk. It's all well and good going +5, +15, whatever, but it's about when you get those kills, the importance of when Rockets are coming up or Ovi's coming up. That could be really the difference between capturing a flag here.
That was actually a massive kill on the flag by Septify. He was the last guy alive for his team, able to take down Ace by enough time. Not only that, but stay alive that entire time. It really canceled any opportunity that you would have seen Spacestation have, and you saw another push from Spacestation failed as Tylenol, once again the last guy alive. He's been alive for a while now, only one death to his name, and you see the rest of Spacestation start a few times trying to push into this Fnatic base.
And again, that leans into how important kills are. Septify only has 2, but one of his kills potentially saved a flag pool, if not a flag cap, for Fnatic. So we have to praise him. He able to stay alive as Super CC will get the assist onto getting that kill. And now here come Fnatic. They are swarming. They take control of the tree area.
2 overshields so far, 2 go in the hands of Fnatic, and now you're seeing Fnatic with the opening pick on the Tylenol. Unfortunately, Zion hiding in the tree in that low spot's able to find a kill. Maybe 2 go down, actually. In Spacestation, they all 4 dead now. So Fnatic get into the base, they get the slays they need, and now with reinforcements on the flag, they should be able to get this flag out, but Tylenol with a phenomenal spawn, able to not only find 1, can he find 2? The answer is yes, and Fnatic's flag run is shut down for a moment, but Super CC right there to continue it.
And that's going to be one player just spawning in the kind of treehouse area or the library, whatever you want to call it, but that means it makes it a lot more difficult to run this flag, and Flazen is going to have to just try and stay alive. Knows that this Bulldog could make a big influence with returning this flag, but I love this play as well. Make sure you get it, but he's not watching from his backside, and that flag's touched.
The touch comes through, and that's an unbelievable opportunity for Fnatic as they battle for the middle of the map. It is just going to be CC that's alive, and he actually gets taken down. So while Rockets came up, Spacestation get all 4 kills they need. They get the return in hand, and they are able to secure Rockets. So once again, Spacestation with control. Now with this second set of Rockets, what can Zion do? He's going to slowly play this out wait for his teammates to advance on the map. Don't be surprised if some dynamo grenades come over his shoulder, but no! He doesn't check the right corner, and you're seeing it here in live. Septify clutches up, able to kill that Rocket player, and that cancels once again the potential Space Station push.
That's twice, right? Septify on the flag, hiding away, then hiding in the tree as well. Two of the biggest kills that you will see here for Fnatic to make sure the Space Station don't secure any flags. And even though he didn't get a kill, he can zone that player so much down into the shotgun area and relay that information to the rest of the team. But look, he's being pushed, and he wasn't necessarily expecting that.
Yeah, he did not expect the player to come from that bar area, and because of it, he loses his life. The flag is being pulled, but Flazen able to secure this overshield, should be able to help shut this flag run down. Just like that, Fnatic have 3 dead. Last guy alive to 0. He's spotted by the overshield. The ninja doesn't come through. The melee might, but Flazen just enough to secure that kill. Wash all of Fnatic out of his base, and a great job by Space Station to weather the storm once again.
And you can really see why in Rally this was only a 1-0 game in favor of Space Station. Both teams, even though they've got 4 dead or 3 dead at times,
Here
just not able to get that flag out. But a big double kill from Flazen. Stay alive now. Wait for the rest of the team. Try and assert some dominance and gain some control. Force those spawns and just try and watch where they're going to be pushing from here.
That was 3 dead for Fnatic, maybe all 4. Septified chose to overextend now. You can see him in the base of Space Station. Flazen looking for spawners. Unfortunately, gets dropped down to no shield. He's going to have to play his life here. I do believe the flag is being run, but Flazen trying to win this one-on-one would be massive if he could, but he does not, so it turns it into a 3-on-3. But just like that, Fnatic actually have 2 dead. Zion in a perfect spot to get this fight to the middle of the map. A couple more slays could put the first cap on the board. They're able to do it quickly, but no, it's denied for a brief moment. So spawners are going to have an opportunity here for Fnatic to help deny this flag.
It's not great for Space Station. They're all in these lower areas of the map. You need to get height. That's exactly what Zion wants right now, but he's going to jump out. Thankfully, he does survive. You're in a really good position to try and help the team get a touch on this flag, and there is that touch. That is so crucial that one player made that decision to quickly push in, and now Zion can watch the entirety of this map.
Yeah, what a play by Zion here to anchor this corner position. Gets that kill on the Rockets. Does just enough to help his team get that flag in the board, in the base, but no, someone from Space Station has disconnected, and that's going to end that flag run. You have to think that there was some potential there for Space Station. But Fnatic, you have to think they brought their lucky rabbit's foot or something, because that looked like it was Space Station's first real opportunity at getting a flag cap.
Well, they were able to get 2 down, and then the player disappears, but unfortunately it was just one of those situations where they had, it was a difficult situation where they were trying to hold the map, they were trying to control it, but they left so many players in vulnerable positions down in the bottom of the map, and Fnatic just kept flying off spawn. It was actually quite terrifying. You look towards pillars, there was a player, he'd die, and then suddenly there's another player pushing through the double doors, then another player comes out of bar. And that is tough when you are a team who is just trying to get that flag touch when it's in a vulnerable area where you don't have much cover, because you know full well by touching that flag you're going to take a significant amount of damage, but sometimes you've got to prepare to do that. And we saw it happen. One player just dives straight on that flag. He says, look, don't worry guys, you just stay alive, you get yourselves into a position where you can at least help me or kill those who are going to inevitably damage me, and then we'll do some work after I've got this touch just to stay alive. But sometimes, unfortunately, these things do happen, and now we are going to see a reset in this game. But you can see how difficult it's been for both teams to get that flag across the map, and you can understand why it was so close when they played against each other, not just in scrims, but also in LAN back in Rally.
Yeah, as we get this lobby back up and running, I want to point out how great of a play Zion made there, as that flag was being thrown off the balcony by Zion into the courtyard, and he decides to play his life, right? He decides to go into the corner, and what a player can do in that corner is he can anchor and have such a great angle for any opportunity that you see respawners trying to push out Rocket side for free. Zion able to shut that player down Rocket side of the map, stopped all of Fnatic from being able to really push out. He does such a good job there. I can't speak enough volume to how important of a situation to where it's like, just because you are the flag runner at the time doesn't mean that you aren't in a position at times to drop it and slay. And that's exactly what we saw Zion do, and that was going to be a very good opportunity for Space Station because he made that decision on the fly.
And a lot of players could, in that scenario, have just stayed bottom middle and hid in a corner and said, look, I'll just wait for them to jump out. I'll be the assassin and I'll strike from behind. But instead, he got aggressive and he jumped back up to get height. I think that's what's important, that he didn't put himself in a situation where he was exposing his teammates to so much damage. And that's the kind of player you want on your team. You want someone who's going to be that team player who wants to get into those priority positions so that you can help them as much as possible.
So what Zion does there, Dan, is when he jumps back into that corner and he has that position, not only can he deny Rockets, he can deny anyone coming out of tree, he can deny anyone coming out of the bar area as well. He has literally a sight line on everything he chooses to. Not only that, but he can kind of pick which battle he wants. So if he gets weak to the players coming out of tree or bar, he can relocate to the Rocket side and choose that angle and pick that back up. That makes it so chaotic for the members of Fnatic. That was like perfect to a T flag run opportunity, especially when the slays aren't coming through, to understand that you have now a responsibility to keep map control, to slay for your team. The fact that Zion showed us that decision live in that situation speaks volume for how Spacestation wants to play when they don't have the correct amount of slays in order to just freely run the flag. I think that that's a veteran move from a rookie player.
Well, it's going to be 1-1 in the series and still 0-0 in that flag game. And it is going to be a reset. And there's going to be both of these teams trying to put themselves just that one extra map up going into Game 4 in what is a very important series between these two teams. It is basically the difference between starting a winner's bracket round 1 or the difference between starting in losers round 1. And that is such a giant difference, especially in some tournaments when you see pool play. All 4 teams can maybe go into that winner's bracket. Not going to happen here. And this really is the battle for potentially anywhere from 2nd to 4th place. But likelihood is loser probably finishes 4th here.
Well, I'll cut you off there because Fnatic hasn't played G1 yet, and I do expect them to be favorited in a series against G1. Spacestation, though, however, if they lose this series, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going 4th in their pool, because I don't see them beating FaZe. At least not with the way that they're playing. They're not playing nearly as strong. But that being said, this Game 3 is utterly important for both of their successes here in pool play, and we're right back into the action. We're on Ace's point of view. Got an assist to his name already as he makes his way towards the overshield. And unfortunately, Super CC able to take him down, and now it's just Zion on the map. He does have overshield, however, but Fnatic look to have won the starting battle. But Rockets still being up is a massive win for both teams.
Yeah, Jazero playing his life perfectly there just to try and allow the rest of the team to join him so they could take down the overshield. But Rockets is now going to be in the hands of Fnatic. It's about what they do with it, as actually Super CC is in a little bit of trouble. It seems like whenever there's some Rockets on the map, Ace is somewhere nearby to try and stop that from happening. I remember him doing it back in Halo 3 as well when you're playing Pit. He was always there for those Rockets, and he's doing the same thing here on Bazaar.
Yeah, it was a great job by Ace to come off respawn there. You saw him go for overshield at the start, makes his way and able to impact the battle for Rockets as well. So great presence on the map so far from Ace. It may not be statistically great, but his presence has been felt and has kept Spacestation in the battle for mid control so far.
And you can really see how players can use even the tiniest bits of obstacle on the map to stay alive and really make it difficult with certain angles so that they will not fall, and allows the rest of the team to push up and help. Juzero put in so much bullets to try and get the kill, and eventually gets taken down. Zion just about survives, but then eventually goes down to the grenade as well, and both teams are just scrapping in the moment, Wes. Like, this is one of those restarts where both players and both teams on the sides are saying, right, how do we try and get early control so we can really try and get some momentum on our side? Well, let's just be aggressive. And when you've got aggression on both sides, you get this. You get so many 1v1s happening, so many teams just trying to get the better of the other. And Super CC, he fails on that occasion.
The plan was perfect, the execution. One shot missed, you cost yourself your life. And with that, Spacestation now have map control. You see the Mangler in Zion's hands. He wants to put it to use, chooses to use his VR. However, on this player, does lose 2 players on his team. So right now, needs to do a good job of staying alive, but that's a great job by Tylenol. Even though down 2 members, able to secure this overshield, does decide to fall all the way back to his trees. So releasing all of the map control that Spacestation once had. Although you get overshield out of the hands of Fnatic, you now have to play from a deficit in position.
Yeah, at least they were able to negate the overshield, but at the same time, you've got to try and work out what you do from it. And what he did was allow the rest of the team to respawn with him so they could try and push together. But all the meanwhile, Fnatic are in the base. They got some frags, and Tyler now needs to play his life. But Zion was there, again, just being a nuisance.
All right, Jazero, what do you have for us? 2 dead for Spacestation. The flag is bottom middle. Unfortunately, they do get the kill onto Jazero, but just like that, it's traded out on board with some great shots. Great relocation, and that double kill is going to get the flag through the doors, and Fnatic get the slays they need for Super CC to get this flag all the way back to his base. He is no shield. Is anyone for Spacestation there to stop this? The answer is no. And Super CC now gives Fnatic the lead, 1-0 in Game 3.
In Rally, they couldn't do it. In Scrims, they couldn't do it. They could not get even one flag on the board here in Bazaar CTF. But here now in Anaheim, Fnatic are showing they are a completely different team to what they once were. But the perfect from Tylenol and the Rockets secures the double kill. And now Spacestation Spacestation can try and push for an advantage, try and push for a flag pull.
What a flag grab from Ace, a triple kill on screen from Tylenol, but for Ace to be in position to grab that flag the second that triple kill comes through is going to be amazing for Space Station. Unfortunately, they do spawn behind him on the thrust. No one from Space Station there to block those spawns, and Ace is going to lose his life. This flag is going to be stopped, and right now Tylenol trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, Fnatic is too much. They flush him out of their base.
And that's one of those scenarios where have you pulled the flag a little bit too early there? Maybe you have prioritized Ace actually going for a couple of slays, maybe just banked on their spawn not being Thruster, but Thruster is always going to be the priority spawn when the teams are not going to be controlling it. So Ace, unfortunately, not able to get that flag far enough, but also Envor getting a big grenade to ensure it was taken down. But Ace does find himself an overshield to work with here.
Can Space Station get back into this game, tie this one up? Ace with this overshield pushing into the tree, surrounded by multiple players. A great job by Fnatic to make him pick and choose which battle he's going to have. Unfortunately, the 2v1 comes through. Fnatic removed that overshield from the decision, and now 3 dead from Space Station. Last player alive, stuck bottom shotgun, and Jazero smells blood in the water. He's got control of the map, and now already into Space Station's bar. Fnatic have another opportunity to try and get a flag run.
And I really want to see Fnatic continue to push with this momentum, with this advantage they're able to find, as somehow Jazero finds a kill onto Ace. But Fnatic, you can't just turtle up and try and play this 1-0 victory. You need to go for 2. Flazin manages to take down another player, but at least Space Station slow this one down ever so slightly, because Fnatic, they're continuously getting aggressive here, which I love.
Yeah, perfect shots from Flazin to stop that flag run from getting any further than just the touch. They're trying to fight out of their bar here, and they know that they're going to have to work Rocket side, so I love this reposition by him, but he's got a teammate that's already deciding to overextend, so he's going to try and relocate. Unfortunately, Ace goes down, and all of a sudden, Flazin is stuck in a very difficult decision, opts to push out bottom middle, and because he loses all of his teammates before that, it's a questionable one because he loses his life, and just like that, with grapple in hand, CC is already on the move with this second flag.
And look at the difference of flag route. Ace earlier, he tried to go through tree. However, Super CC, he said, I don't want to leave myself vulnerable to those thruster spawns. I'm going to at least get it out to the middle of the map by going via bar. But it looks like Space Station, they've done enough again to stop the flag from being put any further. It shows once more, you don't want to be pulling that flag unnecessarily when instead you could control the map, you could go for a few more kills, get the best of the team to the middle of the map, because by doing so now Fnatic have given up rockets, they've given up potentially overshield here. This is not going to be a very fun time for them whatsoever.
Yeah, but even though we're seeing Space Station get the overshields, get the rockets, they're not really translating it into much, right? There's no objective really being played. Those rockets, they may find an assist, maybe some damage on a kill, but right now you're seeing overshield and Septify Stand get put to use. A kill comes through. Can he get the double onto Zion? Bottom middle of the dynamo grenades are both going to miss. That's an easy kill for Septify to clean up. And just like that, an overshield translates into 2 kills for him. But not only that, instant pressure into Space Station's base.
But this is where you pressure, you block thrusters, and the rest of the team needs to join you. You get the slays, and then you move the flag. You don't want to move this a little bit too early, prematurely, but now with the double kill, this could be the perfect time to move that flag. One grenade could really slow this one down, and as long as they don't spawn thruster, this flag should be able to move, but I'd like to think that Septify had done enough to block that spawn as he was moving the flag.
Yeah, Space Station is going to be coming off respawn, but unfortunately they lose Flazin, so it's going to be a 4v3 in favor of Fnatic with the flag already across the map. You're seeing multiple members of Space Station overextend. Can they get kills in the base? Tylenol and Ace both go down, and Fnatic continue the numbers advantage with the flag already into tree. Should be able to secure this one, but a player does get a kill. It's going to be Zion in the tree. He's going to stop that flag momentarily. Flazin gets away with his life, and that's massive for Space Station. They get the kills they get 3 dead for Fnatic. Not only that, the return and a flag is instantly pulled by Zion.
And this is one of the dangers of being aggressive and looking to try and push that advantage and get a second flag. If it goes wrong, if that flag is moved in a slightly wrong route, you do open up the opportunity for a counter gap, but maybe with that grenade, maybe with that kill, that allows Fnatic to potentially stop this one. A big double from Envor, and they might be able to get the re here, you'd have to say, but there's going to be a player there to contest, and that's going to be another touch.
It was the last guy alive, and Envor not able to get that return, and because of it, Tylenol with 19 kills and a flag cap to his name tied this one up for Space Station. We have ourselves a game with 4 minutes left and tied 1-1.
This overshield could be important. It could just allow that little bit of extra control. You can see there's several players. It's actually almost a mirror match on either side of the map right now. Both teams trade out 1 kill, but Tylenol, he has the vision. He can see everything that's going to happen. Can't allow Envor to poke out. He doesn't. And surely this this overshield should go in favor, but there's Septify. What a big kill this could be.
Septify chooses to try and stay alive in this situation, does get away, able to activate that overshield, and because of it, he finds the kill onto Tylenol, able to get that kill, not only secure overshield, but gain mid control for his team. And now Fnatic need to figure out a way to get some momentum going. It feels like they've been on their back feet for the last few minutes. It's up to Septify with bar control. He's got the Mangler in hand. Good damage onto the player on flag, able to stay alive as well. On board with the double and the kill feed. 3 dead for Space Station. Septify knows exactly where Ace is hiding, takes him down, and just like that, Fnatic have all 4 dead, respawning bottom shotgun, and Fnatic have the middle of the map to play around as well.
And they've got rockets, gotta get kills here. Off the rack finds one, but off the spawn, where is Space Station? It's Flazin, gets the rockets. This could be a huge kill. We'll find one, and there is a lot riding on Flazin right now.
3 dead for Fnatic. So just like that, Fnatic looked like they were in such a good position to get a flag run, secure rockets, get the slays they need, but Space Station somehow, some way, they get the kills. They get another touch. Ace is going to try and fight for this flag, but it is going to be returned. Fnatic doing a good job of coming off respawn there and getting kills. So we're seeing such good defensive plays back and forth from these teams. Overextensions. This is such a highly contested game. It's going to come down. You have to think to the next flag. Wins with just 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining.
Of course, overtime on the horizon as well if neither one of these teams can actually find that flag capture. Overshield is going to be there. Oddball going to take this fight, but will lose it, and Space Station get a slight advantage on the map. I think what impresses me more, that Space Station are in this game, despite the fact Elam, Ace, or I'll just call him Ace, has been struggling a little bit in the kills department, but you could say the same about Jazero. That Overshield is trying to be escaped with, but that's a big kill, but I think Envoy should be able to slam it in here.
Tylenol with 23 to his name, trying to keep his team in this, trying to deny Overshield, but we're seeing Envoy on screen activate that Overshield, find himself a kill. Not only that, but collect some Dynamo Grenades. What does he choose to do with these? Here's a player behind him, able to get some good damage onto him as well. Nice job with those Dynamo Grenades. Not only do you get that kill, though, you're able to get so much off of this if they play this correctly. A player is spotted top rockets. I love the ping system being used by Fnatic. Give that exact location out. And this is going to be an easy one for Envoy to pick up. Tylenol, where you going, bud? To the death cam is where you're being sent. 2 players last alive for Space Station need to make a play. They do get a kill onto Envoy. You're seeing CC try to capitalize on that damage, but unfortunately, spinning in circles, Ace able to take him down as well. And although you have 8 kills to your name, make it 9. These kills could be the big ones.
Ace really struggling again, losing yet another fight here, but I have to say that Fnatic may be pushing in a little bit too aggressively there after losing Envoy, but sometimes the callouts come, you want to finish up those kills, but they allowed Space Station to regain a little bit of control with 45 seconds as well, and the position that Space Station are in, it's down to their dictation of pace here. They are going to be the ones to take the initiative and look to push or not, otherwise we're probably going to overtime.
Yeah, we are seeing 35 seconds. Middle of the map is controlled by Space Station, but a good job by Fnatic to spread out. Unfortunately, they are going to lose 2 players. Envoy and Septify lose their life. Super CC, he's spotted out bottom middle by himself. He gets taken down. A big one-on-one. Both players had thrust. Tylenol comes out on top. Give him his 25th kill. Not only that, but an opportunity to potentially get a flag run going at the end of this game.
Fnatic going to be on the defensive. Tylenol has to get aggressive. He's got 12 seconds to get a pull, but has to win the fight first. And with that death, you'd imagine with there's only 7 seconds left, we're probably not going to see a touch here. We will be going into overtime, and we cannot separate these two, not just after 12 minutes, but the previous 5 minutes we played before the reset as well. So this is almost like an overtime. And honestly, I don't know which way it's going to go, because every single time I think one of these teams has enough to get that flag run. There is one clutch moment. There is one player who gets that grenade, who gets that slay, to keep this game alive.
Which one of these teams is going to catch on to both of their strategies of overextending when they lose control of the map? So far, they have been able to clutch up on some of these flag runs with those overextensions into the base. Right now, Ace battling for the middle of the map at the start of Overshield. It's actually Zion's point of view. Flazin is going to be on screen, though. He's got not only the Overshield, but a kill to his name. You're seeing Envoy get caught off guard with the Kneeler. Can't get the kill because a great thrust from Envoy makes it so difficult to acquire. But a team nade comes through. Envoy gets taken down, and Flazin might have just found the opening. 3 dead for Fnatic.
Well, one thing that Fnatic said during the interviews was that Space Station are very good at using the weapons that are available, and Needler certainly is a tool that can get you kills at certain times. Zion running this flag, and remember, it's overtime, so next flag will win this game.
2 dead for Fnatic right now. Last guy alive is going to be Septify. Where is he? Tylenol looking everywhere for him. Need to come back with the flag, knowing that this is going to be the last one of overtime. It's sudden death, and it looks like Space Station have done enough. They throw it up, and they punch it in. Space Station from down 0-1 in Game 3, down 0-1 in the series now, for the first time in this series, have the lead 2-1.
And I think we just saw a little bit of more experience demonstrated by Space Station. It was something that you highlighted earlier, Wes, where you said, you know, it's all well and good being 1-0 up against a team, but this is a squad who's been through the ranks. They've been through every single test you can put through them across the years of Halo history, and Space Station have demonstrated just that. Even though their backs were against the wall, arguably the reset didn't really favor them as well, but they were still able to clutch up and ensure they got that flag. In an OT situations like that, it's always so difficult knowing that one little mistake could cost you the entire map, and it means that Space Station take a 2-1 lead here going into game number 4. And I wonder, are Fnatic going to be kicking themselves a little bit? A couple of opportunities missed, maybe some overextensions at time, but certainly it was an exciting game. Every single time you thought a flag gap was going in, someone was there to change the pace.
Yeah, I'm trying to put my head in the members of Fnatic right now, and it's very difficult for me to kind of go through what they have to be thinking, because this series could have very easily been a 3-0, Dan. This series has had Fnatic's name written on each score lead throughout the first 3 games, and unfortunately they find themselves down 2-1 now, having been up 11 kills in the Slayer and losing it, having been up 1 flag in this game, feeling like they outslayed Space Station there in Game 3 as well. They have to be kicking themselves for not being able to get a few more flag caps on the board. And you wonder, is this going to dictate how their tournament goes? Because this series, we've pointed it out throughout each of the games, it's so crucial for both these teams.
It is a crucial series, and that was a crucial map and probably a crucial flag. It has to be said for Space Station, because otherwise this could have looked very different, of course. And it was all down to some of the individual plays. And there was a lot of individual ability that was demonstrated throughout this game. And even though for the majority Halo Infinite is predominantly a teamwork-based game, there are still those moments where individuals can shine, whether it be off the spawn, getting an important grenade to stop a flag, or overextending when you are on the back foot and being able to take down one player to delay that flag being moved, or just being that guy to actually get in that base and get the bloody flag. Because how many times in Bazaar do you just see no one touching that flag because they're so scared about the potential spawns on Thrust? But I will say both of these teams were constantly looking to pick up that flag, arguably maybe at the wrong times at certain periods, but at least they were trying to get it on the move.
What I didn't like out of these teams is when they had control, when they had the flag on the move. Overextenders are probably the most obvious play, right? You always see players spawning bottom shotgun, overextend to either your pillars or going into your base. How neither team was able to kind of stop that from happening was almost shocking in a sense. Multiple flags, I think, that were guaranteed flag caps were all denied because of how good of plays they were making individually on those overextensions. But as we go into a strongholds on recharge, Dan, I have to ask the question, is this going to be much like Game 1 as far as the pace is concerned, as far as the rotations are concerned? Because if it is, does Fnatic once again get an opportunity to have leverage going into Game 4?
Well, it's just going to be Oddball rather than Stronghold. Sorry to correct you, Wes, but This is certainly going to be a difficult game, but it is a game that we've seen Fnatic take against SSG. In a scrim, they won it 2-1. It was only a couple of weeks ago, but they will now being the mentors of, we've done this before, why can't we do it again? And I think it's all down to this starting strategy. Managing to get a couple of kills on the board and get that first camo can really dictate the pace of it, but it's going to go to Space Station, and I don't think they're going to be able to escape with it.
He stays alive!
He stays alive, that's huge!
Massive job by Space Station to keep Tylenol alive there. He had a melee on him, and you almost could guarantee he was going to go down, but no, 4 straight kills for Space Station Gaming right here. Still all players alive, and with the ball in hand in a great position to rack up some time, you're seeing Tylenol on screen. Try and put this camo to use. Get so much information at where Fnatic is coming from. Can they get this player bottom middle? He says, I'll do it myself, pulls out the BR, but unfortunately there's a second player for Fnatic that not only gets that kill, but a second kill on the Zion has broken what the potential setup for Space Station ever looked like.
And with how closely contested this series has been and how scrappy some of the games have been, I'd imagine we're going to see a very back-and-forth ball-holding situation where both teams are going to try and hold it in these areas where you're reluctantly pushing to, like tower here at the elevator here at A. This is the best place to hold the ball, but sometimes you have to retreat to this scenario because you're not able to get it to that ideal setup. And it's about making these kind of half situation setups work. You've got to actually manage to do the job here and get as much ball time before you have to play it, but playing it is key. And there we go. We see a play ball as soon as there's a little bit of pressure.
I like that play, but unfortunately, CC, a little bit of an overextension with that shock rifle, took way too much damage, loses his life. And that's the reason Fnatic is forced to play this ball. Trades are going to be coming through on both sides, but Spacestation Gaming actually lose 3 of their members. Great shots from Septify on screen there to keep elevator control in his team's favor. That's going to award his team the ball time and the rotation, potentially to bomb elevator. You're seeing all of Spacestation forced into this BR control right now, and it's going to be very difficult to push Septify.
He's holding a very important place right now, but he's trying to hold back several players, and you know full well the Mangler could be coming your way because it spawns just below him, and he's not able to get the trade. So that could be a little bit of an opening here for Spacestation, placing in some trouble. But Fnatic, they got that early ball time, and that's so important in what is going to be a scrappy series. Another camo up here.
Another camo up, another camo in the hands of Spacestation Gaming, but Flazen does get spotted out as he's taken down to half shield. He does end up playing his life. That player that was dealing damage is forced to back up. A great relocation from Flazen, picks up an easy kill onto that player top. Shock rifle spots another one, but his camo, it's spotted. And Oddball with the biggest kill of the game so far takes down Flazen with that camo, gets pipe control for his team, and Fnatic get the ball at this as simultaneously.
That's the thing with camo. You think you're invincible, invulnerable, invisible, but actually you can be seen a little bit. So you've got to be careful about where you're going to be pushing, what angles you expose yourself to. Now in gold, you can see a big battle going down here. 2 players very weak on the side of Fnatic, but Septify playing as well. His life well enough, but might be taken down.
I like this by him, though. He's going to relocate with the ball, but Flazen out of nowhere able to take him down. So good job by Flazen there to deny ball time for Fnatic briefly, but someone from Fnatic able to pick up that ball almost immediately, able to get it towards the elevator. And once again, Fnatic, they've got the ball towards this elevator spawn. You're seeing a team has the potential to rack up some significant time here already. 50-6.
You gotta credit Jazero here. He's put the most objective work in, but hands it off. And I've got to say, between Super CC and Jazero, they've been handing that ball back and forth. If one of their shields is low, they drop it. The other person will then focus damage.
Yeah, I like this play by them because he has the Mangler in hand. Unfortunately, not able to find that kill. Another big kill from Flazen to help try and break this setup of Fnatic. Spacestation Gaming, however, do lose 3 members. And Super CC spots the last player alive. He's going to back him down as well. And you're seeing this round start to get out of hand. It's going to be 70 points to 6 right now. Fnatic showing you they have what it takes to push this to a game 5.
Really interested to see how they play this camo as well. Because you've got so much map control, you just watch it, try and expose Spacestation and try and pick up a free kill. But with Oddball going down first, the opening could be there for Spacestation to not only get camouflage, but also being able to stop this setup.
Flazen's the last guy alive, though. So Fnatic do a good job of not only losing the first member in that battle, but slaying out from there. A great job by Septify to try and pole dance around that pillar right there. Good job staying alive, awarding yourself some ball time, making it look good too.
That's what a lot of players wouldn't have done. They would have just hid or taken that fight. Not many would have thought to actually hold on to that ball and pick up that extra scrappy time, because 3 or 4 seconds could be the difference from winning this game or losing it. Finally, Spacestation is starting to score, but with Envor having this camouflage, he has a real opportunity to break this setup.
Yeah, one more round of Slay should do it for Fnatic. Just 13 points is going to be needed. And Envor with this camo, Mangler finds a double kill. Nice job pushing bottom elevator. It's unsuspected by Spacestation, and because of it, you're seeing 92 points and climbing. Ace has got to do something quick.
He does fly in, will get the melee, but that time is starting to tick up. 3 seconds away. The ball is played out, so Ace has put enough pressure to at least keep this round alive, but this is going to be very difficult from this point onwards.
He's got to play perfect Halo, and a great grapple on the Oddball is going to get Ace to a safe space with this Oddball. You're going to see Spacestation with their first real opportunity at an elevator setup since the very beginning of the this first round. What can Spacestation do to keep numbers in their advantage? Because you saw how good Fnatic was at continuously making it a 4v3. Spacestation need to apply the same kind of pressure, but unfortunately, the pressure is on Ace. And Jazero with some great shots denies that ball time from being accumulated by Spacestation once again.
Well, that's all well and good. I mean, Fnatic don't want to be able to put themselves in that scenario where they're allowing Spacestation to get that trade over and over again whilst Fnatic have a couple of players down. This is scary territory here for Fnatic, and Super CC has a lot of responsibility with this sword, and I think he knows that. That's why he's playing so cautiously right now.
Yeah, he knows he's got so much time to work with, but you can't take too much time because right now Spacestation's starting to build some momentum. A big kill on the Flazen. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to trade with that sword player. And with that, Spacestation lose 2 members. A great rotation from Ace with this Oddball, however. He went all the way from elevator to pipes to long haul. But how long can they keep this up if they don't get the Slays to match?
I have to say, Ace hasn't impressed me, but just like that, right from under their nose, they take the ball, they get 2 more seconds, but they still need 1.
Big double kill from Envoy. Can he get the triple? He does! Triple kill from Envoy. Let him hear it, Envoy, as he closes the door to round 1 in game 4. A little bit of trash talk, 18 kills to match, and Envoy starting to feel himself as we go into round 2.
And we may not have a crowd, but that was a roar that was heard around this hall right now, and Envoy, that will give him so much confidence bleeding through into this next game. He's going to probably take this fight as well. Eventually gets taken down, but Fnatic, they open up this game in the perfect way. They had so much control for so long, and Spacestation, they find themselves on the back foot here on Recharge Oddball.
Spacestation actually looked like they had control of the map early here, but they get removed from Septify there. Jazero snuck away with Camo, so it's actually Fnatic that get the better of the start here in round 2, and with just 1 round away of pushing this to a game 5, we could be looking at Fnatic and the story that they're trying to write themselves for the tournament. A double kill from Jazero, great shots from him. Even better patience. The plasma pistol doesn't find home. And with that, Tylenol does get that kill, removes Camo from the map, but Jazero has done some significant damage to the numbers of Spacestation so far.
I like the aggression with the plasma pistol, but at the same time, he could have maybe tried to play his life a little bit longer. But I think he wanted to go for the highlight reel and push for that triple and maybe do something similar to what we saw from Envoy just a few moments ago. 8 seconds on the board for Fnatic at the moment, and Super CC in a really important fight to try and take down Tylenol here. You've got to at least call this out and try and prioritize staying alive.
Spacestation actually had 3 dead right there, and Tylenol able to just be a nuisance. Denied ball time from being acquired from Fnatic was massive. Now you're seeing Spacestation has an opportunity to come off spawn, but just like that, they're putting respawn, Dan. Fnatic, 4 dead for Spacestation. The kills all come through, and Jazero and Septify with 5 already in this round have now acquired the ball as well. So Fnatic look to press this round 2 and take this game 4.
And you can really see why Fnatic were winning this game type in scrims against Spacestation, because they seem to be far more comfortable. And look how quickly we see the assist coming through. Jazero cleaning up that kill from Super CC. But with Shock and Sword going down, that's going to mean there's less control here for the map on Fnatic. So Spacestation, perhaps that's going to be the opening they've been desperately searching for, and a camo would really help out too.
What can they do with this camo though? Because they've had power-ups throughout the series. What can they do with it? But Envoy removes it out of Tylenol's life. And with that, that's a massive kill from Envoy once again. That was 3 dead, last guy alive. Zion, let's get some ball time. And if Septify can find this kill onto Zion, that's going to be Fnatic once again with the setup. Spacestation just unable to get the kills they need to stay in this game 4.
Forgetting about calling him Envoy, how about Encore? Because that is a second time we've seen him pick up such an influential kill here in this series. As Super CC absolutely annihilates Ace in what was so important to keep more ball time going in their favor.
Good damage onto a second player as well. Unfortunately, no one there to clean it up for Fnatic, and Flazen gets his shield back. Double teams a member of Fnatic there. Now Fnatic forced to play the ball. Septify, he gets removed from the map. A good trade comes through, but Spacestation can't figure out a way to get ball time. While they get the slays they get, they need to figure out a way to get a setup going because they have 0 points to their name. 58 for Fnatic here in round 2.
And I love that Fnatic are playing that ball so quickly. Where they're holding it, where they're rotating it to, they make it so difficult for Spacestation to pick up time after they play it, because that ball is always going to be in such vulnerable areas. A big moment here, have to hit those shots. Zion does, gets the perfect, and now there's a bit of ball time available here for Spacestation.
What kind of confidence can he gain from that kill? Because that could be a massive one for Zion. He does try and push out on these batteries. Unfortunately, he gets removed. A good job from Fnatic to make sure they're listening to each other, able to use teamwork to get several angles on those players. Envoy trying to push with a great grenade, Dan. Oh my. A double kill for Envoy, gets 3 death for Spacestation, and just like that, Jazero in a perfect spot to capitalize on some ball time.
So important you know what nades you've got currently selected, and that plasma allows Fnatic to gain even more control and even more ball time. Camo's going to be up in 5 seconds. If we see Fnatic grab this camo or he stops Spacestation from getting it, this could be the game.
Yeah, Ace does a good job to get that kill on Envoy, gain numbers for his team. Now Spacestation with this camo, what can they do with it? They look to push, but you know the ball is going to be played. Unfortunately, 85 points and counting right now. Fnatic have so much room to work with. Spacestation need to act quickly and nearly need to play perfect, and unfortunately, that's not perfect Halo as they lose Ace.
Blazing trying to stay alive, and he has to stay alive because this camo gives so much information to the rest of the team right now, but he knows full well he has to be doing damage at the same time. A great set of kills coming in from Spacestation to keep them alive in this game, but if Blazing goes down, Fnatic could potentially pick up this ball that is in a vulnerable area, but there's Ace. He has been objectively minded throughout this entire series, and he needs to step up now with these rotations.
Yeah, I want to see Blazing get closer to his ball carrier because he's actually under pressure. Unfortunately, he gets surrounded by multiple members of Fnatic, loses his life, and Fnatic just looks so clean right now, Dan. They're executing perfectly off respawn. The second Space Station kills that they have, they're not able to do anything with it because Fnatic is so buttoned up coming off the respawn.
Blazing and Ace have gone down. Fnatic are a 3, and they've picked up the ball. So there's going to be 2 players off spawn for Space Station. They have to move now.
Yeah, this is going to be the last push for Spacestation Gaming in this Game 4. Can they deny this ball time from being acquired? It doesn't look like anyone's going to be there. He does get actually taken down from grenades as the rotation to blue tried to come through, and that ball is going to be down, but Envor, who other than Envor, is going to be able to get that kill, secure the time, push this team to a Game 5. And statistically, Dan, Envor popping off in Game 4 has got to make Fnatic fans going wild back at home.
I mean, you look back at that triple kill in round 1. How important was that? That was the difference between winning the game or not. There could have been, you know, a setup in gold after that. I know it's just speaking about potentials and what could have happened, but that just shows how integral of a part of this team he is and what he was able to do. Every single time that Space Station thought, oh, maybe we'll get some ball time, bang, here comes Envor. He's there over and over again, just being a thorn in the side. And we're going to a Game 5 in a series that definitely deserved it as well. There was always the potential this could have been a 3-0, this could have been a 3-1, it could have been a bit of a wash in favor of either side, really, depending on who played well on the day. But we're certainly seeing some of these game types are favoring certain teams. We knew full well that Fnatic had won this in scrims, and it shows why. They are looking so much more comfortable when it comes to recharge, and we do find that in Halo Infinite, teams do have their more comfort picks when it comes to not just a map and a mode, but maps in general. Like, Bizarre, some teams are awful at, but then they move over to Aquarius and suddenly they're the best CTF team in the world. Right. So it's really difficult to try and analyze who's going to be able to perform in what way, but this Game 5, this is going to have everything.
You can throw the stats out the window. Game 5 is all about players making plays in the big moments. And as we look at the highlights from Game 4, you can bet that Envor is going to step up in Game 5. The way he has really turned it up here towards the end of this series has got to have Fnatic fans confident in their players because Envor was doing so much work. I mean, just take a look at the statistics. This is round 1, Dan, and he ended it with 18 kills.
And that triple kill was just so massive, but then again, you look at even the plasma, the double, like being able to have that intuitive nature to throw that plasma grenade knowing you're going to die, being able to pick up 2 kills because of it. I know that we have some really talented pros in every single team here, but Envor has really been impressing me throughout these series. You saw his disbelief in that game earlier when they lost, when he didn't get that beatdown trade, and that could really change the mentality for some players where they would crumble, but it seems to have really raised Envor here. He's turned into a different beast, and we're going into Live Fire Slayer as our game number 5.
As close as a series as the desk projected before it started. We were neck and neck. It was a split decision from the desk. And just like that, we're in Game 5 with these two teams. So much on the line here in pool play. Both these teams looking for their first win of a series in pool play. It would rewrite the ship that has been off its course so far. Who is going to take this Game 5? Spacestation Gaming or Fnatic? You have to think. You favor Fnatic the way that they're playing, the way that they have outslayed. In games 1 through 4, they have outslayed Space Station. Besides Game 2, that magnificent comeback from Space Station, down 11 kills. Do you think that they're able to get a lead, or do you think that is Space Station going to actually come out hot for once in this series?
Well, Space Station are going to have to. I feel like after the momentum swing, now back in Fnatic's favor, everything rides on their starting strategy. Get yourself ahead. Show what you're made of in this Game 5.
Who else other than Envor to start this one off as he picks up the first kill of the game? It is immediately traded out on the Super CC. However, he does still believe that Ace is over here towards his tower. Actually clears it out though. Spots Ace, and this is going to be a great push from the elbow. You know Ace doesn't expect his Zion as well, but Envor doesn't have the ammo to actually win this one-on-one. Tries to buy time for Septify to trade it out, and yes, it does get traded out. And just like that, Fnatic jump out to a 4-3 lead.
Overshield's going to pop, and Overshield is going to be such an important factor of this game. Super CC escapes with a sniper rifle. That's going to pay dividends as well. You'd imagine that he's going to be able to pick up at least one kill here. And it was there. It was waiting. It was in his sight lines. But because of that miss, Tylenol picks up not just the overshield, but a double kill as well.
Unfortunately, CC is going to have to run with his tail between his legs. I actually love this play by him. He's going to throw that snipe off the map. Tylenol, he knows multiple members of Spacestation or Fnatic are back here, able to find one. That snipe does get thrown off the map. So that was actually a great decision from Fnatic, because you lose that snipe, you give it to Tylenol, you might not have a chance to rebound here in Game 5.
A lot of pressure on the spawners over at green. And you can see just by the movement of Tylenol, he doesn't really know where to go, because everyone else on the team was in engagements, they were in fights.
He didn't throw it off.
Sniper rifle did not get thrown off. It actually got thrown towards the rest of the team. Well, actually, no, he just kept it in his back pocket. He stayed alive somehow.
It looked like he had every intention of throwing it off, but as we switch screens, I guess he changed his decision, and that looks to have been rewarded. Unfortunately, can't land the body shots, but does find himself a heat wave. So a great job by scavenging him. A relocation could be massive from Super CC, but Blazin shuts him down, picks up that heat wave of his own, and his overshield's about to pop up, Dan. It looks like Fnatic or Spacestation have all control they need to secure this one.
Very minor things, but by reloading the heat wave there, I think Super CC gave away his position and Blazin heard it. You can be very loud when sometimes you're regenning shields or you're reloading weapons. You've got to be very careful with when you do them in certain areas, as it's just an absolute carnage situation, top middle. Overshield's popping, and if Septify can pick this up, it would be big, but he goes for the... Oh, it's the repulsor.
He has the repulsor. He can't pick up the overshield. He doesn't drop it. He actually repulses on accident, but the rest of Fnatic is there. They do secure this overshield. And now Mangler, overshield in hand, Super CC has an opportunity to make a name for himself. Game 5, baby. It's where legends are made, CC. What do you have for us? Artie. 0 kills to his name, though.
But 6
assists. Let's see if he can get a kill on the board. Does get good damage on the 1. Second has good damage, and this is going to have so much attention onto Super CC that look for the rest of Fnatic to be able to capitalize here on this damage. Unfortunately, CC having to try and back up all the way towards Key Door. Zion runs him down.
And a lot of people will say, stats don't matter that much. Doesn't matter he's not got any kills because he's got 6 assists. But I know full well every player that plays Halo looks at their own stats, looks at their own kills and goes, oh crap, I haven't got a kill yet. And he would just want to get that one on the board to give him that confidence. And all the meanwhile, Spacestation have got 5 kills without any sort of answering back from Fnatic.
I mean, we saw Fnatic in a phenomenal position there. Overshield Mangler in hand. They look to push on tower. They don't get any kills to their name. And in fact, it all gets erased. Spacestation now take the lead. They get Snipe in the hands of Ace, Heat Wave in the hands of Zion, and somehow, some way, they have fought out of this deficit. They have managed to secure some power weapon control. Now let's see what Ace can do with it.
Is this just going to be one of those situations where experience starts to kick in a little bit for this Spacestation roster in that Game 5 moment, in this clutch scenario where you know your backs are against the wall? You've maybe put yourself in a situation where you're going to allow Fnatic back into this series after Game 4. Ace has the sniper rifle, and there is potential for some really big kills here if he can hit his shots.
Wouldn't be the first time Ace has done it in a Game 5. Let's see if this is going to be a repeat of history as Ace tries to find that player pushing him from open field, misses that quick scope, does get a little help from his friends to go down for Fnatic, and I love this by Spacestation just anchoring this house style. They do secure the next overshield as well, but it looks like Zion's going to be the one that secures it. He's got Mangler in hand as well, so you're seeing how great Spacestation is at scavenging some of these weapons. It does get traded out, and a little bit of an overextension there from Spacestation because Ace had every intention of sitting back with this snipe. They don't have nearly this strong of a push as you would think, and because of it, Fnatic makes slight work of that overshield and stay in this game for now.
It is worth noting that in Pro Series, in clutch situations, in Game 3s and Game 5s, Fnatic do have a better percentage record of winning those clutch games, but Spacestation's is not bad either. It is a situation where maybe we'll see players like Ace, historic players who have been there over and over again, get those huge kills, or is it going to be players like Tylenol, these new up-and-coming players who are demonstrating they can hang with the big boys now. They are now the big names of Halo Esports, and there is a 4-kill lead for Spacestation, but they've got to keep pushing. They need to make this gap even bigger.
So far, everybody on Spacestation doing their part here in Game 5. They're going to all need to continue that as we enter the mid-game right now. 30-27, Spacestation, they lose 2 members. Fnatic do a good job of pushing right there, but we've seen them fall short on the rebound here. Let's see if they can have, once again, an aggressive push that works out. But unfortunately, that frag grenade, it gets Super CC taken down and they lose all of their space. See, they're forced to fall back to house because he loses his life. They do have Snipe in the hands of Jazero. I'd love to hop on board with him and see what he's capable of doing.
Sniper rifle in one hand, and we've got the heat wave as well. Jazero, though, the player that could maybe make a difference just watching top middle. 31 to 28, and everything slows down ever so slightly as this new sniper rifle is coming up in 10 seconds, and that's why it slowed down. We've got a mirror match on either side as both teams just watching patiently for it to drop, knowing that one team is going to have to make a move.
I love this by Jazero. Great job. Great use of the Mangler to secure some good damage, but Overshield popping is going to be where you see Fnatic prioritize their numbers. They get the kill on the Flazin, they get the kill on the Ace, and that's going to be Overshield in the hands of Fnatic once again. Do they get the snipe as well? Could this be the power swing that Fnatic have been waiting on this entire Game 5?
SSG retreating right now, having to go back towards green. We'll get the spawns, so it's going to be a 4v4 once more. Even though they lost so much of the map there, they only lost one kill for it.
Oh,
So
this
you've
is tough.
Gotta push out quickly.
They're stuck back green. This is a very difficult position for Spacestation to be in to try and fight out of. You're seeing Overshield Heat Wave being pushed on as Zion gets taken down. Envor with the double kill. Envor spots a third player. Although Tylenol has snipe, you have to think his life is shortly lived. He jumps off the map with it, and that's 4 straight kills for Fnatic for them to take a 1-kill lead, 34 to 33.
And they know Spacestation are on the back foot right now. They know where the spawns are, but that's a big melee kill from Ace. Envor screaming to his teammates where those weak players are, and that's going to be another 3 kills going in favor of Fnatic, and a 3-kill advantage to follow, and only 13 kills left now for Fnatic to find. But naturally, Spacestation will try and slow this game down a bit, but they are stuck in-house.
They have been trapped off their spawn for the last 3 spawns they've had. They need to figure out a way to create some space, trade a few kills out. It will do dividends in the amount of space you're able to play around. Right now, Spacestation trying to fight front house, but great nades from CC and end up in a kill for Fnatic. And right now, 38 to 36, CC behind enemy lines right now. They are not going to expect him to be here, and Tylenol forced to take him down as well. Great teamwork. 3 go down for Spacestation again, and you're seeing Fnatic hit stride.
Over and over and over again on spawn, Fnatic are relentlessly pressuring Spacestation. And Super CC, 12 assists. He's emitting so much damage right now. And this next overshield could be make or break for Spacestation. If they allow this to go too comfortably in the hands of Fnatic, that could be the game. So they've got to fight tooth and nail for it.
What a push from Spacestation right there. They get the first kill. They should be able to secure overshield, but Jazero tries to flank from the sandbag position, able to anchor a couple of players down to no shield. He can't figure out a way to finish any of them, and with respawners from Fnatic coming from green, Spacestation is going to secure this overshield. Now, Ace, you're down 3 kills. You get information that once back green, what can Spacestation do to sandwich some of these players? Because it wasn't too long ago, we saw Fnatic in a very similar situation have so much success. Now Ace needs to find a way to push these players. The cavalry has arrived, and Spacestation Gaming get 3 to 1, tie this game up. And I love this by Ace, already pushing towards tower, is gonna relocate and try and get in a power position before Fnatic can get off their spawn.
Worth saying, a massive kill from Septify there to make sure this is 43-43 and not 43-42 in favor of Spacestation. Fnatic fighting with their backs against the wall at the moment. 45-43, 2 quick kills for Spacestation will give them so much control here, but they're looking to find those remaining 2 players.
Yeah, no damage gets capitalized on either. You saw 2 members from Spacestation running no shield pillars. They both get their shield back, play their lives perfectly, and now you have a little bit of a lead to play with. Zion with snipe, smells a player pushing back plasma pistol. He gets spotted out, Septifies down. You see, they have numbers. What can they do with it? 47-44, Spacestation in the lead.
This is the thing. If Fnatic slow this one down, they're going to leave themselves vulnerable to maybe getting sniped from certain angles. You know full well Spacestation going to be watching every single route right now. Ace just making sure no one's going to be behind them, but Fnatic have to be careful.
He wants to snipe so bad. Can he get to it, though? It doesn't look like Fnatic's going to compete for it, but yes, Jazero there to deny it. Ace takes the bait. Jazero punishes him, makes it a 2-kill game.
So important, Jazero got that kill. Perfectly played, 47-47, and overshield in 15 seconds as well. If Fnatic can stall these kills, if they can control this side of the map and grab that OS, that could lead to a victory for them. 3 kills in it. Spacestation have to be careful, but this is down to a wire. 47-47 in Game 5 between these 2 teams. So difficult to call which way it's going to go.
So Tylenol does look at that snipe, but Envor is right below him. He does not know Envor is down there. How is Envor going to be able to impact this? Oh! Envor with the assassination! Envor with the double kill! 49-48, the battle for overshield continues. Ace tries to make a play, he's knocked to no shield, there's a player bottom middle. Envor and Fnatic get the 50th kill. 2.
Fnatic pop off, Envor screams through the LAN hall, and what a game and what a series it was from that man, but what a series it was from Fnatic in general. There's been so much questions around this squad ever since they were the last ones to be picked up by a partner team, but they have answered any doubters. They came into this group the bottom seed, but they've just taken down the 2nd seed in the group, and they've given themselves a real chance of starting in that winner's bracket, if not almost guaranteeing it. As for Spacestation, 0-2 in pool play. They're going to have to hope there's results that go favorable for them elsewhere. Otherwise, they're going to be starting in that lower bracket after that. And what a Game 5 it was. So close. It could have gone either way.
Dan, you got to look at 2 plays that Fnatic made at the end of that Game 5 that stick out in your head. Just Zero baiting the snipe with that heat wave, waiting for Ace to go for it. He knew Space Station, it looked too good. The piece of candy out on the wire was too much, and just Zero getting that kill was massive because it opened up the field for Overshield. But even bigger, the best play of the game, the best play of the series, Envor hiding below that window, waiting for information, waiting to hear that snipe bullet off. As he jumps up with the Mangler, he finds a back smack, a double kill, helps this team not only get those 2 kills, tie the game up, but more importantly, creates so much space for that next Overshield that it forced Space Station's hand once again, and it just put Ace in an unwinnable situation. I mean, those are veteran plays being made by the newcomers on Fnatic, and if they can keep that up, they can do it against anybody.
How far can Fnatic go? That's my real question, because this is going to give them a lot of confidence. As for Space Station, it's arguably going to be doing exactly the opposite. There's going to be a lot of questions asked by that squad. They're going to be looking at each other saying, could we have done better in X game type or X scenario? But certainly it was a close one that could have gone either way in very different situations and scenarios there.
All right, Dan, that's going to do it from us. We're going to hop on board on the main stage with Blaze. He's got an interview going on with Envor now. Let's hear it from the man of the series, Game 5. Envor, how you doing?
Man, thank you, Wes and Gaskin. Ladies, I am with Fnatic on the main stage. They have finally entered the HCS scene. The squad is here, and you guys get a W for your organization to kick it off. How you feeling right now, Envor? Because you played a fantastic series.
Definitely felt great. Went back and forth with SSG. It was really energetic. Definitely a little bit thrilled for sure, you know, representing black and orange.
Yep, exactly, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, I brought the skin. I was like, who is gonna be representing the black and orange? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy I brought the skin now. And so when it comes down to this series, I gotta talk to you about games 2 and games 3, because you guys had an 11 kill lead in game 2. We were watching your screen on some of those final 2 kills, and where it didn't come through and you didn't get it, it slips through your fingers, and then you guys go over to game number 3, and that slips away as well. Seems like you guys beat yourselves there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just think that we just needed to collect ourselves. We definitely weren't playing like how we should have been, for sure. So it was just nice to sit there and be able to bounce back from game 2 and game 3 and show up and sit there and just dominate.
Yeah, and so what was the changes that you guys made going into games 4 and games 5? Because that last Slayer went down to the edge once again. What happened?
We started playing a lot more energetic. Anytime we got the kills, we sat there and started, you know, just stacking up on top of each other, get the rest of the kills and stuff. It kind of got a little bit chaotic, but for the most part, we were able to sit there and just stay composed and make sure we get those kills and just take advantage of the sandbox mostly. The sandbox is going to be really the biggest thing, having to play Infinite.
Now, you talk about staying together for those kills, okay? Because you guys were wolf-packing throughout the entirety of the map. Tell me about your teammates and what makes this Fnatic squad so special.
Well, all my teammates, they're all very energetic. Anytime they get a kill, they're having to sit there and scream, get hyped about it. And the thing about that is that I feel like it's a domino effect. Once it hits one of us, it's hitting all of us. And when all of us are in it, it is just very easy, and we just keep going with it.
Keep going. Well, I hope you guys keep going with that same intensity throughout the rest of the tournament. Any shout-outs that you want to give to the fans out there?
Shout out to Fnatic for having to get us here. Also, shout out to Fatal. You know, a lot of boys out there that definitely supporting me, and also to my girlfriend, Lizzie. I appreciate you also, babe. You've definitely supported me a lot.
All right, y'all, give it up for Fnatic on this main stage. Envor coming from Mississippi. They lit it up. That's going to do it for us. Lottie, guys, break this whole series down.
Thank you so much, Bex. I'll tell you what, though, Oddball, he is such a gentleman on stage, but not so much. He's a bit of a brute force when it comes to Halo Infinite because his gameplay says something else entirely. But one absolutely incredible result there for Fnatic. And boy, watching that game, what an incredible result for us because it was so incredible. That series was so down to the wire, and I think, you know, Blaze put it really well there in the interview that, you know, a couple of games really didn't go Fnatic's way basically because of what they were doing. And I think that is definitely the story for Spacestation as well. I think, you know, both of these teams at times were kind of beating themselves, but I want to kind of go backwards. That Slayer was very intense, and there was a moment there, Golden Boy, where I know you were like, okay, well, this is Spacestation's game. It's done, 47. They managed to come back, but that wasn't the case at all.
Oh, on the last layer. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, you know, you see 47, 45, right? Yeah, OS control, sniper control. You're like, this is kind of over, right? Like conventional thinking would be that the game's over. But there was that one moment underneath the bridge where the sniper was literally there. It was like a delicious piece of candy, as Wes had put it. And it's like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. And he went for Ace went for it.
It's the last biscuit on the plate when you're in a group of people. Like, everyone wants to put their hand in, but you know you shouldn't. It's like, it was
a beautiful series.
It was an amazing series, and I think it's the first series today where we've all kind of like woken up and we're like, holy, like every single team here is here to play in like the craziest way, because this play at the end, by the way, like from Envor, like to have the cojones to go in and make that play, knowing that if you don't make that play, you probably lost the game.
Yeah,
like,
you're just giving up a free kill,
exactly.
your team's down a member, like, yeah, there's just so much that goes against you if you do not hit that mark.
Yeah, this was just such a big game, and honestly, I think that this was kind of like a coming out party for Envor, because, you know, I think now people, he's putting people on notice, I think. He's so talented.
He is talented, and I think what I love about Oddball, and I think what I love about the direction of Fnatic and how they're playing based on what we saw, is that Oddball is very aggressive. You can see that he wants to get in there, he wants to get in the mix, and he wants to have these risky kind of moments and challenge. But what his team do really, really well around him is give him that support, the support that takes a little bit more of that risk away from those situations. And it feeds really well into it because he has the confidence to go in and just do what he can do best. Walshy, what did you make overall of Fnatic and their gameplay?
Oh, man. They just seem to thrive in that chaos. Like, anytime that game pace picked up, it just seemed like, you know, double kill for Fnatic, triple kill for Fnatic. They would get the trade. They would walk away with the oddball. So it just felt like they, you know, if the plan, you know, kind of went awry and just things were going down, it was like a free-for-all, they were winning that. And that shouldn't be much of a surprise. You see some of the players they have on their team, some like Jazero. He came up through free-for-all. He was like one of those top Halo 5 free-for-all players. Like, yes, it didn't have the same sort of presence as free-for-all did in earlier Halo years, where like everyone was competing in it and forced to compete in it. But like, if you're at the top of individual skill and you are comfortable those times where you just run around and someone could be like behind you or to the side of you and you just have to win those fights, he just does it.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Tony in the back, and he was talking about how these players who come from twos, right? Like they play a lot of twos. That's kind of the duo style to like just, you know, fly, be aggressive, hold hands, like ensure that you have each other's back as like you're taking these fights. Now you apply that to a game like Halo Infinite where you can really get some crazy speed, and on top of which, you know, you're kind of collapsing on your targets. We've seen Cloud9 do that a few times, and I feel like Fnatic, I don't want to say that they're at that level, but it does feel like Fnatic have the pieces to be able to play like that if they keep this going. And to be, you know, I don't want to beat down on Spacestation because, you know, I think that the results right now certainly are weighing heavy on them, but they had to have known that that kind of style was going to be present from Fnatic because these players have been in the trenches for a long time, and everyone knows how they play.
One thing I loved about Fnatic as well is how many teams would you see fall over and crumble after losing the 2 games they did, and it's a 3-1 Spacestation walk off the stage and Fnatic are beating themselves up. I always look at a series and I'm like, all right, what's the fortitude like of this team? You know, what are they like when they're down? Because it's easy to play Halo. It's easy to have a smile on your face when you're winning games, right? Because everything's so simple. It's how people react on the back foot when they go down in series, when they go down in games, and I think we've learned a lot about
and
this
how
lineup.
They go down too, right?
Exactly.
Because
to bounce
they
back
lost
is crazy.
Yeah, they lost 2 and 3, and it looked like it could have gone real sour real fast for them, but yet somehow they dug deep and was able to pick up game 4.
It's not just losses either, was it? It's like it's a 50-48 loss.
Losses,
It's an overtime loss. Exactly, and that takes it out of you even more. So I was amazed amazingly impressed by what Fnatic managed to do to turn that series around.
Something I wasn't so impressed with. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Call the shot. I know where you're going.
I want to talk about strongholds. I want to talk about, you know, looking at the way that these teams managed to get trip caps a couple times, but didn't know what to do with the trip caps. Talk to me about that, Walsh. I want to know from you, and boys, feel free to jump in here. But when you're getting a trip cap, what do you need to do to hold it and to utilize it best? You know, you've gone through all of this effort, you've slayed your way to the trip, and you're just not using it to the best of your advantage.
It's all about controlling spawns at that point, because as soon as you put too many resources in an area to like help control that trip cap, they're just gonna get split spawns. And so it's all about understanding and having awareness of where they can spawn after that and how you should allocate your resources. So it really can be difficult to do a continued trip cap against a lot of these teams, especially depending on the map. Like there's certain maps, you know, something like Recharge, where you can't just send all 4 people over in towards A, because then they're going to spawn out towards C or get wherever they want. So I think it is a fine balance, and I would be interested to see how like some of these top teams do continue it for a long time, because to me it just seems more of like a staggering spawns game where you just have to try to continue to find 1 or 2 and outnumber them, pick them off, and then continue to kill them and never let them have 3 or 4 people.
I think we kind of saw a little glimmer of that as well, the split spawn in Li-Fi, where Fnatic managed to get a split spawn. They're in a really good position, but we actually saw Spacestation just totally take control once again. They actually got the lead from that because Fnatic didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to control that split spawn to their advantage. So I think, you know, Onset just tying a bow on the series, just getting things out of the way. For Fnatic, do you think that they really now need to kind of improve on the knowledge, the awareness of what they're doing, what they're trying to do, recognize that they've done it, and then really just take the next steps to capitalize on that?
I think it's crazy that the example you used is a really good one, because it was right at the end of the game, right? And they killed 2, and it's like, we could collapse on these last 2 players, but we also have map control. And like to have that in the back of your head as a team, it's like, okay, we might be able to put them on splits here, but we might sacrifice map control, hike towards the end of game where an overshield's coming up and kind of looking forward. And they were like, hey, let's just hold here. We've got our 2 kills, we have map control, and we're going to be able to have angles in this 4v4 where we should probably get that first pick. So to recognize that, that's another thing that's like maturity, right? As a team, recognizing where, even though it might be something you could do, it's like, the bigger picture here is to win the game in these last few moments. Maybe when it's 10-all, you make that play, you get a bit more aggressive. But as I say, there was a lot to love about Fnatic and the way they played that series, and I think that they're going to take so much from that.
Yeah, they will indeed. And I'll tell you what, that was a very well-fought series. Absolutely incredible. I hope you guys at home really enjoyed that one and what both of our teams managed to deliver across the screens for you today. And I hope you guys have also been checking out all of the rest of the action on all of the streams. We are streaming every single game today and through the rest of the weekend. But let's take a look right now at our pools. Let's see where we are, because things are happening behind the scenes away from Alpha, of course, in this stream. And we're actually next going to be ending up in Pool C, gentlemen. So a lot has been going on behind the scenes. I'm trying to kind of just fill myself in here, looking at the graphic at the same time. But we do actually have Optic versus Complexity next. As you can see, Optic have managed to already secure a win here. Complexity did go down to G2 Esports. I gotta be honest, and I don't like, you know, really kind of disrespecting any team here whatsoever, but based on the way that Complexity kind of came out of the gates against G2, it's hard to not really think that right now for Optic, this is gonna be a pretty easy series, and they're probably just gonna wanna look to clean up on a couple of different things.
Yeah, Pool C, you know, if Optic didn't win Pool C, I think everyone would have been like, well, there's some problems there. But my eyes immediately focused to Pool D because Pioneers beat E-United. They're up 2-0.
Wow,
and
okay.
I said it before and I'll say it again. The Pioneers lineup, watch out, because they are a scary, scary team. They remind me a lot of Fnatic. Lots of talent. We keep asking the question, you're an online team or are you a LAN team? Right now, beating E-United, who just finished 2nd at Raleigh? Oh yeah, this is a LAN team for sure.
Did they take down E-United?
Yeah, they beat E-United.
I love how well she's like questioning GB.
Did you look at the graphic?
Of course I'm questioning GB.
Production, can we bring the graphic back again?
If GB says
You
something,
just refuse to believe it.
Yeah, refuse. Like,
I'm just saying, look at the thing.
Nah, GB, what are you talking? Wait, no,
I'm partially intelligent on like, you know, on like a Tuesday, you know,
well,
depending where the moon is.
It's a Friday and the moon is way off. But I'll tell you what, though, that is some news, because we were honestly earlier talking about United and what they've got to do and kind of where they're at in terms of this LAN. So that is absolutely huge. And we're going to have bigger and better moments coming your way as well on Alpha. So make sure you're going to be tuning in. Next up, though, we do have Optic versus Complexity on that stunning main stage. We're going to see you guys right after this quick break.